Hi, I'm Beth Rennie. I'm editor-in-chief at the Association for Supply Chain Management, and I'm thrilled to be joined here today with the winner of our ASCM Award of Excellence for Supply Chain Leadership. His name is Herbert Pechek, and he is with the United Nations Support Office in Somalia. Herbert is a supply chain principal there. Thank you so much for joining me, Herbert.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I would love to start today by you sharing with the people watching just a little bit about your own professional journey. Did supply chain always appeal to you? Did you see yourself as a supply chain leader? How did your career evolve?
Well, let's put it this way. There was nothing planned for me to become a supply chain leader. It's a longer story, but to make it very short, so I'm actually an engineer by profession. I started off as a civil engineer. My school or got my master's as a construction business administrator, and worked in the construction industry for quite a while in consulting services in my native Austria, and then I moved to the US and I was working there in New York, and eventually ended up with the UN as a field engineer in peacekeeping, and was in various not so nice environments, usually in the aftermath of war and crisis. So I was doing some infrastructure rehabilitation in countries like Timor-Leste, Kosovo, Haiti, and so on. So this was really my initial career in the UN, and I always had a little bit to do with procurement and logistics and these kind of things. I mean, in general, what we do in my area of the field in the UN is what we call field support. So it's supporting the mandated activities of the UN in the peacekeeping operations. So we provide all sorts of technical support and planning and sourcing and this kind of activities. And and when I reached a certain level within the field of engineering, I felt, it needs to be done better, and I was lucky enough that right this moment when I had these thoughts of what we could do, the organization actually decided to adopt a supply chain management approach to our field support activities. Okay. And I kind of raised my hand and said, guys, here I am, I want to do that. I was always a bit of a, analytical thinker, and I called myself always a system optimizer. I always tried to get the best out of it, to get, the best results with the least resources, and as a decent project manager tries to do. And I was given the opportunity to look into reorganizing our mission structure from a conventional arrangement of very much a siloed approach of the different technical areas into a supply chain approach, an end-to-end approach, and started doing a whole lot of process assessments and the reorganization, and eventually we adopted the beautiful SCORE model, and that was the beginning for me of becoming a supply chain expert, if you will. And and over the last few years, I have gotten more and more involved in this, and I think probably made something right, because that's why I'm here, I guess.
Excellent, and I'm glad SCORE had a part to play. That's great to hear. We touched on this a little bit, but here at ASCM, one of our pillars is making an impact. So tell me about how your career allows you to make an impact and make the world a better place through supply chain.
I think, the impact is has various meanings. Obviously, in my current role as the principal supply chain officer in my mission, of course, I'm leading the team, which gives me great opportunity to realize some of my visions and my ideas. And I'm extremely grateful to my leadership, to my bosses here in Somalia and in headquarters, that give me a certain level of freedom. They give me good guidance, but a good level of freedom so that I can actually implement supply chain ideas. And as the principal, the greatest opportunity is to lead a team. And if you are a leader, then you need to have followers, I guess. And building teams and building capacity is something that I really enjoy, and I think that's the opportunity that I have. Another thing that was very important for us to get this whole supply chain management approach going is was at the beginning learning the language. It was like we meant the same things, but we used different words and different descriptions and so on.
Sure.
So and I think I took the lead on this in definitely my entity within the UN, and possibly even in the wider area of peacekeeping, to get involved in a lot of this training activities and getting certified as a supply chain professional and so on, and really getting to know how the thing is done, as per best practice, I would say.
Right.
And bringing the team along and learning with the team and trying out new approaches. So, and I always enjoyed this, I always enjoyed building teams and getting better united rather than alone. So, and the wider impact, I would say, of course, I work in peacekeeping. So, what else can I tell you? I hope, everybody appreciates what we're doing. The impact of supply chain management in peacekeeping, I think, is extremely important, because obviously being very responsive and reliable in what we're doing is critical. We're in the business of saving lives and making the world a better place. And having the opportunity to take a leading role in this, it's extremely rewarding. So I'm very grateful for that.
That's awesome. So you talked a little bit about your own leaders and leadership in general, but what does it mean to you to win an award for a supply chain leader?
Oh, it means the world. This is, I think it's the best appreciation I can get. Those that know the process of, getting there where I am today, it basically starts with somebody nominating you for this kind of award, right? And having been nominated by my own team, this is a massive appreciation that I can't describe. We're always trying to get evaluated our own performance, upwards rather than downwards. Being awarded for such an award from your own team, I think is the ultimate appreciation I can get. And then the second level of having my work reviewed by ASCM and then being selected amongst probably many equally great leaders, is fantastic. So I'm thrilled. Thank you.
Great. So Herbert, what is next for you? Do you have goals for the next few years, for the rest of your life? What's next on the horizon for you?
Well, first of all, staying safe and healthy. I guess that's our whole worry at the moment. Look, in general, I think there's a lot of goals that I have professionally, of course. But on the other hand, I need to go back to what one of my first bosses told me many years ago when I was working in consulting engineering in New York, and I had all these plans of doing these projects and moving on in my career and so on. And then my boss said to me, Herbert, what life is? And I said, what kind of question is that? What do you mean? He said, life is what happens after you make plans. And that set in my head so deeply that I was like, what? He's absolutely right. Every time I make a long-term plan, there's always something comes up. So in that sense, sorry?
So especially these days.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it kind of kept in my head for a long time, and it still sits there, obviously. And so therefore, I always try to make more medium and short-term plans that I can really control better than and only being somehow prepared for the longer futures. But in terms of work, we have just embarked on a very interesting process. We're undergoing the ASCM enterprise certification process in my office. So we have just launched this, which is very exciting and very demanding. Thank you for that. And so that's going to keep us very busy over the next few months. But great goal for us. We want to be one of the first entities to receive the certification. Definitely one of the, most likely the first UN entity to be certified if we pass, which I hope. And then we have a lot of other ongoing projects. We want to become more responsive, more reliable. Obviously, in the current financial crisis, also that with COVID, it didn't really help us. Budgets are even tighter, so we have to deliver. With even less. And supply chain management is the ultimate tool to become more efficient, right? So we just need to be even more innovative and better in what we're doing to deliver our value services to our clients under the current situation. And we want to be more customer-centric. We want to be more visible. We want to make it easier for our clients, but also for our own people to do their job. Yeah, so there's a lot of projects ongoing. We have so many plans in all different areas, end to end. I mean, I don't know where to start. We've adopted a very interesting strategic project management approach last year, where we follow a little bit the good old racetrack approach from SCORE, if I remember. So which helped us a lot, and again brings us back to speaking the language across all our teams. And yeah, so we're not going to be bored, despite many of us working from home. Obviously, there's still a bunch of our people that are up on the front lines in Somalia that actually have to hold the fort and do the last mile logistics. They are unfortunately not at home, but despite all of us being in different locations, we're very busy, very excited, and looking forward to implement what we have planned for.
Well, absolutely. Good luck with enterprise certification, and thank you for being such an inspiring and engaged ASCM member. Thanks to everyone who's watching us here today. And to learn more about the ASCM Awards of Excellence, please visit ascm.org/awards of excellence. This year's call for entries will open in the spring. So thank you again, Herbert. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you.